Hello and welcome to Allshorts. Well, I think we're in a bit of a dark place. I think we're slipping down that slope towards fascism. I know it's a loose term and it's thrown about maybe a little bit too readily these days. But I really believe we're almost there. As far as I'm concerned, we've got fascists in government. Got plenty of fascists online, spreading their bile, which I'll share with you in a moment, so keep watching. And our Tory MPs, they tell us to our faces what their intentions are and what they believe in. Yet we're not listening. Such as Dominic Raab. Well, you've probably seen this before.
My name's Dominic Raab, and I'm a Tory.
He made it plainly
clear. I don't support the Human Rights Act, and I don't believe in economic and social rights.
He doesn't believe in your rights, your human rights. No. Unfortunately for us, that is the case. But he's not alone. No, we've got Sue Ellen Braverman. She's just the same. She wants to shove all the refugees on an aeroplane to Rwanda just to get that front cover on the front of the Telegraph. She likes to make visits to Rwanda and stand in front of what might as well be Auschwitz. That place is a prison, pretty much. And now she wants to shove refugees on a container ship. Well, might as well be a container ship. This ship is actually, at the moment, well, it's a big barge. At the moment, it's actually in Italy at the moment. It's not even in the United Kingdom. And Richard Drax is kicking off. Son of a slaver's family. Yeah. He don't like the idea either. No. And he's a Tory. But you know who really do love these announcements that we keep hearing? Are the trolls, the people online. Now this geezer, Andy Plum, who happens to be a Plum, he often comments on my channel. In fact, I've actually put him in his box now in the sense that he's in that goldfish bowl. He thinks he's, people can see his messages, but they can't see his messages in his comments on my channel here. Yeah. He's basically a fascist. I'm sorry, but he is. So I thought I'd share his tweet with you. Let's just have a look at it, see if we can analyse it a little bit. So he says, after a morning of kicking woke lefties into touch, it is clear to me that the last few weeks have been a pivotal period, where our years of constantly calling these people out, the woke that is, we have finally received endorsement in government policy. Well, that's not your doing, that's done this. It's just the fact that you got fascists in government. Sorry, I just say as I see it. Now, lefties are running around, he says, like headless lunatics, because there are years of woke bile. This geezer probably wouldn't be able to explain what woke is either. It's coming back to haunt them. Their tweets are becoming extremely desperate, and their voices on here are metaphorically sounding like someone with tonsillitis, as they are having to call racist, Islamophobia, and transphobia, and every other phobia. Well, quite frankly, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it is a duck. And you're a racist, and a fascist, neo-fascist, I probably want to, looks like he's got a bit of a skinhead as well. Anyway. And he goes on to say, and every other phobia that they have invented. There are actual things, you plonker. Or should I say plum. And many more times to many more people, and as loud as they can, he says. They are quite literally slowly but surely losing their voice. I haven't yet. Voice, and appearing like the shambles they always were. Maybe I might be a bit of a shambles, but there you go. Well, quite frankly, he goes on, well, he's gone about stones here, basically. Yeah, he said, I haven't seen one lefty win an argument on here for days, he says. All I see is them giving up and hiding behind the block button. Well, I say, you were hiding behind under that stone, weren't you? You were under that stone. And it was that blooming referendum, that 2016, 23rd of June, Brexit referendum. Well, a whole load of numbers put that cross in the wrong box that they did. And then we got the 2019 general election with Boris Johnson and his so-called oven-ready deal. That was like, I don't know, taking a frozen turkey the day before Christmas. Bunch of turkeys voting for Christmas. Arr! He goes on to say, he says, we have Sue Ellen, or Suella Braverman he calls, it's not her name actually, it's Sue Ellen Braverman. He says, calling out Muslim grooming gangs and illegal immigrants. In addition, we have Richie Sunak. So what this guy's hair's done, he's generalised it even more because she's going on. She said Pakistani Muslim gangs. Pakistani grooming. Like get my worms out in a minute. Pakistani grooming gangs and illegal immigrants. In addition, we have Richie Sunak. Now, Richie Sunak, he's like doing a pillar in the post. He is. He's got the far right chomping at his ankles. Make sure which he has to satisfy to try and keep his place in government. And then he's got the left of the party also giving them grief. So he's a bit of between a rock and a hard place. Now, he says here, does Plum, changing the legal definition of sex to biological sex, leaving absolutely no room whatsoever for anything in between on legal documents. He's missing something here, actually. Kemi Banadong, she's trying to push same-sex spaces. Which basically means it'll prevent trans women being able to use female toilets. I've got a bit of a theory behind this. Why are we worried about a trans woman going into a female toilet? I understand there was obviously problems in that prison in Scotland, what have you, but that it's an isolated issue. It just ends up in everywhere. In the press, everything, doesn't it? But this is going to affect so many people. Now, I understand and I appreciate that some women are going to be very uncomfortable with this. I get that. But aren't you uncomfortable if it's, it could be a big, lesbian woman maybe. She fancies you. She's looking at you for that little hole that's been drilled in the dividers in the toilet cubicle. Maybe, I don't know. And we could say the same about homosexual men in the toilets, what have you. Or are you just saying because trans women potentially could be stronger and overpower you? I don't know. I just feel that why can't we I don't understand what the problem is. I just feel that I understand what the problem is, but I just don't. We've got bigger fish to fry here. We really have. This is not. Where are we heading with this? Doesn't really matter. Why can't we just leave people alone? It's not causing any problems. Besides, in the ladies' toilets, it's all cubicles. What about us poor men? We have to flash our bits about. Yeah. Not for me. People might be looking at me. I don't know. It's just a bit silly, I think. Maybe, I don't know. So he goes on to say, does Mr. Plum, what they do in their seedy little beds sits at the weekend is up to them. I don't get this guy's English very much, to be honest, but there you go. He's just a nasty, horrible little transphobe. That's what he is. Maybe he hasn't come out yet. Maybe. Andy Plum, I'm calling you out as a potential trans woman. A rather ugly one, I must say. But our strategy is simple, he says. Keep calling lefties to account. Keep calling out the evil cult religions online. Oh, that's a... Oh, well, he doesn't really know much about Sue Ellen Braverman, does he? No. She's a member of a Buddhist cult. And she goes on about grooming gangs and stuff like that. Sue Ellen Braverman protected a sex offender. A homosexual sex offender. Oh, but that's quite convenient not to mention that. Then the guy pegged it, just like Jimmy Savile. I never faced trial. Well, I never refer to anyone other. What's what he's saying? It's what you got to do. Keep calling out evil cult religions online, he says, and in the street, and never refer to anyone by anything more than their biological sex. Whatever Susie from Swindon, with a dick, prefers to be called. That's what he said. They're just chronic people. They really are hateful, horrid people. Ah. I know what I'd like to do to him. It's got nothing to do with my winky. No. A bit 2x4. Maybe. Anyway, we also stick together on here. When we see a fellow patriot being attacked, he says, oh, we must dive into the thread and drive the offender off our timelines. Back to whatever seedy group they crawled from, he says. These people are just unbelievable. So he's inciting aggression here, basically, as well. And then he goes on to say, patriotism is not racism. Racism is racism. Fascism is fascism. You little neo-Nazi. Urgh! He's a horrible individual. That he is Andy Plum. Yeah. As you say, I haven't followed him. Patriotic, he says, and English. He believes in two genders. He's anti-immigration, right? And yet, okay, so anti-immigration, anti-trans, anti-Islam. He says, I'm not right-wing. I'm not far-right. Oh, I don't know. Blimey. Anyway, you tell me what you think, because these people, they need calling out. We need to be going on to his too. We need to basically counter his attack and go in there and give him grief. Just take up their airtime, because that's what they do, you see. That's what this government does as well. It sucks the airspace for debate on topics and subjects and important subjects, that policies, what have you, that need to be dealt with. But they don't want to deal with those policies or subjects or topics or debates. No. So they'll just throw in another dead cat. Maybe that's what's happened to Scott Benton, MP. Throw him in. Throw him to the wolves and everybody will be watching that. Maybe. Take the heat off the others, you see. So what we need to do, we need to return the favour to Andy Plum and go in there and tweet the hell out of him. And his following. Basically National Front, isn't he? He's a nun-eating, if you want to know. Anyway, it's time to go. So you tell me what you think. Please leave it in the comments down below. So, ta-ta. Oh yeah, don't forget people the whole like button. Helps the channel, you know. And maybe that little bell icon. That's it. Because then, you know, you get a warm fuzzy feeling every pocket every time I upload another video. And please comment down below. And if you want support channel, do a Patreon or buy us a coffee. And the links are down below. I very much appreciate that it is. Allows me to carry on doing this channel, you know. So ta-ta.